How in the world has this game been out since 2017 and I haven't played it? What was I waiting for? This is Persona 5. Don't go away. Long time no see, people of my channel. I last uploaded 2 months ago. Pretty long hiatus. What have I been doing? I put 110 hours Persona 5 as it completely enveloped my life for like 2 months. But let's get into it quick because I'm trying to condense those 110 hours into something that is manageable. So as always, let's start gameplay. And Persona 5 has two completely different sides to it. Two different faces. Social simulation, which other than Sims, I don't think I've played a social simulator, and the other half is turn-based combat that I've played a lot of. And before I get into the mechanics of it, let me hook you into the story like it hooked me. Here's how it starts. The story starts in the middle. You've been arrested by the police for leading this group called the Phantom Thieves, and you're telling this investigator the story. And that story is what you're playing through. But here's the hook. One day, you and this new guy, Ryuji, discover you can enter these weird palace things. And at the school, there are multiple teachers, including a gym teacher called Kamoshida. And at first, it's like, he's just a normal teacher. I've seen like 10 dudes walk by at this point. But the story transfers back to the present as the investigator tells you what happened with Kamoshida. He was arrested under insane charges.
The one who received a calling card from the Phantom Thieves was an Olympic medalist. An alumnus from Shujin Academy, the PE teacher Suguru Kamoshida. It all came out in his confession. He was guilty of everything. The abuse, the violations. But there should have been no connection between the two of you since you had just transferred. Why did you target him?
And then the story takes you back to where you are in the game, and you're like, well, now I have to continue whatever game session I'm playing. I have to figure out why this guy is like under arrest for some insane charges. And the story hooks you so fast because after you defeat Kamoshida, the cutscene for the investigator is like, and your next target was Madarame. Why did you target him? What did he do? And it's like, I don't know. And it's like, you just want to play through the game to figure out these answers.
It's even more incomprehensible than Kamoshida as to why this man was targeted. Where did you come to know him? And how did you learn of his crimes when you weren't a victim of them?
And slowly as you go through the story, you accumulate more party members and you guys call yourselves the Phantom Thieves. But now we got the story down, back to the two main faces of this game. You got two main sides, the social simulation and the palaces, which involve all of the combat and mechanically playing the game. Now the social simulator is more fun than you would think. You're doing really basic stuff. I mean, it's slow. This game is slow. This game makes Life is Strange look like a Call of Duty game, okay? You are doing such mundane things such as just answering high school questions, working at the local like food court. One of the main things you'll be doing is raising your social stats, which include, and these are honestly kind of like unique, guts, knowledge, proficiency, charm, and kindness. And other than buying items for use in palaces, the main thing you'll be doing for the majority of the time, hanging out with your confidants. Every person you meet who is of importance grants you a confidant. It's basically like any friendship or relationship, it doesn't matter. The more you hang out with them, the higher that level gets. The higher that level gets, the more rewards you unlock for use in palaces. Unlockable rewards and confidants include withstanding a fatal attack in combat and living with just 1 HP, able to remove another ailment like forget or sleep on another teammate, the ability to get extra cash after an all-out attack, or my favorite one, which was an ability unlocked from a kid in the arcade. If you ambush someone, there's a slim chance that you'll spawn in with a all-out attack via gunfire. Kind of cool looking. But the more I played, the less I cared about these rewards, even though they are very powerful, because I just started to care about what the story was. That's basically what these confidants are short stories. There's a fortune teller who basically got recruited by this company to sell off $100,000 magic stones that'll help you get good karma and all that garbagely gook stuff. But eventually she smartens up and basically rebels against those guys. Every confidant here is basically a short story that you'll be interested in.
I will no longer be swayed. by names like Monster or Maiden. I am simply a fortune teller who provides advice to people with broken spirits, so that they will have conviction and face their future without getting pushed around by fate. That's the fate I've chosen for myself.
Now, an aspect I particularly really enjoyed in Persona 5 was the switch from normal high school group during one day, mysterious, rebellious phantom thieves the next. And this is where you see that shift to the other side of what Persona 5 offers. The goal in Palaces is to change someone's heart. If there's a super evil person out there and you want to change their heart, well, this is how you do it apparently. The goal? Make it to the end where the treasure is located, send them a calling card the day after, the treasure will appear, receive the treasure, take it out, boom. Heart change. On your way to the treasure, there is a ton of obstacles in your way, including what the game calls shadows, which are enemies. There are extremely forgiving, very light, easy stealth mechanics here. Pull off a stealth ambush and you'll gain a huge advantage. Why is this important? And ambushing is important because it lets all of your party members attack before the other team even gets a move. And if you know turn-based combat, you know that's insanely important. The other massive aspect to combat here in Persona 5 is what the game calls weak points. Think of it as the Pokemon equivalent of super effectives. Say someone is weak to ice attacks on the other team. Well, use an ice attack and they're knocked down. That gives you what the game also calls a one more. This allows you to either attack one more time or baton pass to someone else, boost their attack, and attack again. And this is also why Persona 5's combat is such a momentum swinger. Like, once you gain or lose momentum, it's so hard to swing it the other way. You know how many times I felt like I got cheesed because the guy hit like a critical or 2 weak points in a row, and then just like I missed my attack, and it's like you can't get the momentum back. And another underrated aspect to combat here that I really enjoyed, and to put it to comparison, I'll compare it to Pokemon because that is like the most famous turn-based combat. In Pokemon, it's pretty obvious. If it's not a damaging move, you don't use it. It's just not worth it. Like, no one is going to up their agility, really. Like, the average person not going to up their agility or their defense or whatever in a Pokemon game. And here, you have those type of moves to up your attack, defense, or accuracy/evasion, while also being able to lower the enemy's equivalent stats. And originally, I thought, that's probably not worth it, until very early on, I tried it out. And you realize it is very noticeable. Like, upping your attack and then attacking, worth it.
Okay.
And before I slide into my next category of presentation, which is huge for Persona 5, let me combine the two with all-out attacks. And I'm seriously going to play all of the all-out attacks here. Absolutely stunning animations here. It is so eye-catchy. Once you have all enemies knocked down, say you hit their weak points, they're all knocked down. That's when you hold them up. Like, you got them on the ground, they're in your grasp. You got the barrel on their head. You can either pretty much get money out of them, get an item out of them, or collect them as a persona, basically like a Pokemon. But the cool thing here is the all-out attack. Whoever got the last knockdown gets the animation for the all-out attack, and it's just... every single one of these is just pure, like, there's so much character. You can tell so much about these characters, even if you've never played the game. You can tell so much about each character here just based on their all-out attack animation. That's how great these are.
They're done for! How's that? One enemy hit the ground!
Everyone, with me!
All out attack!
As the curtain falls.
This is a holdup! Let's wipe them out! All out attack! Done and done! Get up! Stand still! Good choice! All out attack! Wasn't that graceful? Good one, Crow! This is a holdup!
What I was waiting for!
So sliding into presentation. Listen, Atlas in Persona 5 widely talked about for its presentation. And something I've said a lot on my channel, if you followed me, is music is the most underrated part of gaming. It is always there. Always there. While specific things like combat or boss fights or other small things can't 100% be on screen, music can be 100% there.
Yes!
And the cool thing about the music here is that it's styled just like the gameplay. There's two sides to it. During your normal high school days, it's chill, relaxing.
You should be grateful.
Sultry. I mean, you could be buying weapons from the shop, just chilling out to the music, buying medicine for palaces, chilling out to the music.
You want that one? Thanks.
While scenes can be impactful on their own, music always enhances it. That's why you always see music changes scenes, and it's you put music behind a scene, it's a completely different scene meaning. And Persona 5 always has soundtracks that go perfect fit. It's a perfect fit, whether the scene is sort of melancholy,
Soichiro.
But to think that walk of
or even upbeat and kind of a fun mood.
Hula dancing?
I ain't down for that.
I'm going to highlight boss fights. Persona 5 has a knack to just keep one-upping itself in whatever place you look category-wise. In Persona 5, you have boss fight music.
Shisa! Ravage them!
Then you have like boss fight music.
Come! Alright,
And then you have what I call, oh shit, it's a fucking god boss fight music. And this is where I feel like Persona 5 will be the most remembered for me. Every aspect I loved in Persona 5 comes together on boss fights. Every fight just feels like everyone on your team is just trying their best and you're getting countered, but then you counter him, but then you got a shock off and then he missed his attack, so you just feel momentum swinging your way, but then you missed your attack and he like put up a shield or some shit and you hit one of your guys down with an insta-kill, momentum's going back to him, and all this time the music is really making this seem like it's a high-stakes situation. The music cannot be overlooked here in Persona 5. Like, I remember being so into these boss fights because of everything involved, music included.
This one! Persona! Let's go.
I will go with you.
All right, Queen!
Then stay down.
Tommaso no Orochi! There! Persona! There!
Persona! Eat this!
Are you scared?
Persona!
How am I this far into the presentation of Persona 5 and I haven't talked about it visually? Feast your eyes, people. I don't want to stay on the visual aspect of Persona 5 for too long. I don't want to make this video 2 hours long, but it just, at the end of the day, it's just the effort put in. There is no barrier, there is no secret code to make a cool looking game. It just takes creativity, a little imagination, and a lot of effort. It's gonna feel weird going back to like your average game menus where it's just like start, play, blah 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 blah. Like the menus, much like the music, is always something that is always gonna be there, and it's something that's usually taken for granted and just overlooked. Like, oh, what about the big things like the story and the gameplay? The menu is there 100% of the time, and 99% of people don't even think about it until you make it something worthwhile to think about. And in Persona 5, you definitely take a look at the things that you would usually skip over. Not to mention, a thing I absolutely loved is there are full-blown animation cutscenes here. Not only does this give huge life to characters, it's just cool. Like, it's just cool. I want to go into my overall impact and overall opinion, but I gotta straight up talk about the voice acting for presentation here. Voice acting, I knew I was in for a treat because as soon as you meet Morgana, I thought, I know this voice. I know this voice. Searched up. Cassandra Lee Morris. Oh, that sounds so familiar. Tip of my tongue again. Search it up. What was she in? My favorite anime of all time is Toradora. The main character in that show, Taiga Aisaka. Voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris.
Just take all your lame-ass high school memories and bury them all in the morgue, you losers! You hear me? The morgue! All right, let's do this.
But I don't want to sit here and talk about, oh, the voice acting was so good. It's way easier to show than to tell. So here's an example.
That's right. I knew, but
It's all your fault. This time you'll be the one to die.
Will you die as you were told? Who will you obey? Cursed words spat out by a seething illusion?
Alright, overall impact, my personal opinion. Genuinely, at first instinct, I wouldn't 100% recommend this game to everyone. And that's mainly due to the fact that it is text heavy. Text after text after text after text after text. If you are not doing combat in a palace, you are reading text. And while yes, a huge portion of this text is voice acted and has a pretty cool animated headshot, it's just reading text and reading text. Like, I genuinely didn't read a lot of my nights. Like, I read books, but I genuinely didn't read a lot of nights because I felt like I just finished reading when I go to bed. I don't want to read again. So that's my hesitation on recommending this. But then I think about it for a second longer, and I genuinely think that anyone who plays games, I feel like, has to experience Persona 5. I was addicted. I'll be honest. I was super addicted to this game. Like an addict. Like, I was trying to cram in any sort of like minutes I could find in my day to play a little more Persona 5. And the game makes it so easy for you to slide in to that Persona 5 feeling with the loading screen telling you, take your time, man. It's such a chill game, especially when you're in the social aspects and you got the soundtrack in the background. It feels like some angel came down and like massages your shoulders. You're like, it's okay. You don't need to look at the clock to see what time it is. Just play a little longer. And it's seriously addicting. Like, you get so lost in the realization. It's seductive. That's the tagline I stick to Persona 5. This game is seductive.
Searching all along, been facing twilight on and on, without a clue, without a sign, without grasping it. The real
Stuff I haven't mentioned here for good or bad, I got guns on my list, and this is particularly just because any type of flying enemy always seemed to be weak to gunshots, so I never really fought any flying enemies because you just shoot, all out attack, done. So anytime a flying enemy came in, it was like, okay, go away. I have music notes on here too, and this is, I want to say, negative. While you're leveling up your social stats or your confidant ability relationships, you get music notes in the form of 1, 2, or 3. There's no way to check how close you are though. There's no way to check how close you are to leveling up your next knowledge or your next kindness or your next confidant. And what do these music notes mean? I'm not too sure, other than 1, 2, or 3 points. And I can't gloss over Mementos here. It's kind of a weird name, Mementos, but it's basically this dungeon that you keep going down in floors. You get like really deep into the floors. You fight enemies, you find treasure. It's a really nice mix. You know, I talk about the two sides of Persona 5. It's like in between because it's very casual, but you're still doing some combat aspects. It was a huge dark horse to the pace of this game. And honestly, the best part is the dialogue.
Keep going! Run those shadows over!
Panther, is that your chest bouncing against my head?
It's not as serious as you are in the palace, and it just screams like midnight, like everyone's still up, chatting with the most random stuff.
Andy, I'm tired too. Need fish. Sushi.
Ah, I need a drink. Give me some fizz.
I wouldn't mind some green tea. The stronger, the better.
Would anyone know any good vendors for professional quality brass knuckles?
I know you're serious, but you say the scariest shit sometimes.
The kitchenware store? Ah, wait, that's Brass Nutcracker. Their names are quite similar.
Our thief suits have such individuality. Fox's mask is cute.
Cute? Probably wouldn't be so cute if you ran into him in a dark alley.
But to close us out here, I always find it tough to get my point across about games of this caliber. Like for me personally, Persona 5 is a game that sort of like exceeds being a game, and I won't even remember it for being like, wow, that was a really good game. I'll more remember it for being, wow, that was such a fun time in my life where I spent like 2.5 months just like playing through Persona 5 all that time. Persona 5 had my eyes glued from the beginning to the very, very end, right to the credits. It never stops trying to impress you. And even though after all these years of gaming, I can now recognize when I feel like, yeah, at the end of this game, I'm probably going to think of it as a top 20 game of all time. I had my guard up, I'm ready to take that hit. I still felt like I was knocked on my ass while I watched these credits, because even the credits are watchable. You're listening to yet another great soundtrack, you're watching the credits roll by, it's showing highlights of the characters that you just played 110 hours of, you get to know these new friends, and that's crazy to me that a game really had my eyes glued from beginning to end, and it's 110 hours. Hot damn. So to close out this palace of a review, Persona 5, 9.5 out of 10. So that's it. 110 hours, a long ass review, and we're moving on. The cool thing about this is I've kind of opened the door to a whole new series. Persona 3 Remake just came out. Persona 5 Strikers is like a spin-off sequel. Persona 5 Tactica. Okay. Persona 4 Golden. Yep. Persona 6 is probably on the corner. I feel very lucky I've waited this long to play Persona 5 now because Persona 6 are on the corner. But honestly, I will wait to play another Persona game just so I can get back to some of the other series that I've been playing because I just spent 2 months playing the same game. But for now, I'm your host, Saber Player Entertainment. Hope you enjoyed this review. Peace out.
That was amazing! 2 enemies defeated! Right now! Okay, guys, let's do it! Fist of justice!
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half of that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.